home arena, home of the Utah Jazz, as we're ready to get game one of the triple header underway tonight. That was scheduled tonight. It has been delayed by a few hours. This game was originally supposed to start at 6:30, but it's starting right now. And we had a day of action. We had to make up 4 games from yesterday because of difficulties with this game. But here we go. Better take the sound out of my headset first. Here we go. So here's the Utah Jazz here in Salt Lake City as we introduce the members of the Jazz.
At the point, standing 6'2", number 2, Colin Sexton. At guard,
And it's been an interesting day so far. We've had pretty much a lot of high-scored games, and all 4 road teams won today. The road teams are 4-0 so far for the start of this season. This is game 1 of 40 for the 2023-2024 NBA season. And we'll have to see if road teams can keep that streak going, as we're getting ready to go here in Utah. And let's take it over to David Aldridge.
NBA season continued. One NBA president has even suggested a 58-game schedule. And for the playoffs, one and done. He says there's a reason people tune into every football game. The college tournament in 63 games gets more TV money than we do in our entire regular season. The more drama, the more TV ratings, the more money. Kevin?
What's not to like? Everything makes sense. Less the players, more practice time, and all the things you just talked about. Maybe DA, less is more. And thanks for the report.
All right, well, thank you to David, and here's your starting lineups for both teams. And there's your key matchup. Kawhi Leonard averaging 23.8 points per game, and Mark Cannon 25.6 points per game. As here we go. Here we go from Salt Lake City. Game 1 of 40 is underway, and looks like the Jazz are going to start with the ball. A lot of three-pointers today, and that's a miss right off the bat from 3. Here's Russell Westbrook. The step-back jump shot, good for 2. And no, another missed opportunity there for points. Oh, but they get a quick steal and took it out of bounds, so the Clippers are going to get the ball back. So here we go. Clippers now in possession of the ball. Here's Kawhi Leonard. He got it for 3.
As we know, there's no magic way to defend Kawhi Leonard. You just do the best you can each time down the floor.
And the Jazz will get on the board there with a 2-pointer.
How reliable he is night in and night out. This offense is there.
And that's a 3-pointer.
One of George's main strengths, able to stretch the floor with his outside shooting.
And knocked out of bounds, so the Jazz will retain possession of the ball there. Look at that, though. That was a good block. You just got to make sure it stays in bounds. You got to make sure he gets to the backboard before you do a block like that. Otherwise, it's going to go out of bounds like it did there.
First quarter, just over a minute played. Markkanen finds a limit.
There it is for 3. Yes, he got it. And finally, the Jazz are successful from 3-point range. And they're going to put it back for another 2 points. That was Morris Sr. there.
Second chance
with the putback.
Always the result of that extra effort. Marching outside. The three.
Going for three. No. Couldn't get that one to fall.
It's George on the wing.
Paul George gonna go for it himself and nails the three-pointer.
George has got a pair of threes now in the first quarter for the Clippers.
Well, in spite of the critics and the injuries,
So they missed the three, but then quickly get 2 points there.
For a stretch four who spends a lot of time on the perimeter, Martin does a good job attacking the offensive glass.
Sinks the triple.
And another 3 points there for the Clippers.
start this game, you want to get him rolling as early as possible.
And we know once he gets in
Kessler misses
tough guy to stop.
And you
from
mentioned
three.
injuries for Paul George. CGA, the broken leg,
Westbrook is gonna nail the three-pointer.
elbow, ligament.
And I'm sure there are a few others, Kevin. But give him credit.
Oh, it's a steal by Kawhi Leonard.
Maintain his greatness.
And Paul George is going to dunk that. And nice dunk there by PG-13.
Well-balanced attack.
And it's helped them build an early lead. They just need to stay.
And that's another steal.
Leonard against Markkanen.
And a shooting foul, so it's a chance for 2 points.
So a free throw coming up. Great opportunity for a three-point play. And an important part of every team's game.
And it will turn into a three-point play as the Jazz take their first timeout. We'll step aside. Clippers up 24-7 with 3 minutes and 11 seconds to go in the first. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the NBA on Fox Tube TV.
Tonight, creating turnovers and capitalizing on the other end.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Jazz.
Welcome back to Salt Lake City, Utah, here in the Vivint Smart Home Arena. The Jazz and the Clippers. Clippers have a big lead over the Jazz, 24-7. It's a 17-point game. And the Jazz get the ball here to continue on here in the first quarter. Sexton gets a three-pointer to go. Kind of looks like a football score, I'm not going to lie. For the time being, at least. That's a football score for sure, 27-10.
Expectations aren't so misplaced. There's the response. Kawhi rarely changes expression, but you know what he's thinking.
And we also have never saw a team trail by this much in just the first quarter either. So keep that in mind.
How often do we see this these days? Clubs answer each other with the picture-perfect mechanics, and the heights almost always get a clean look.
And here's Morris Sr. He misses. There's another three as a result of a miss. It's now an 8-point Clippers lead.
Marcus Morris.
Make it an 11-point lead again.
He's got his second
giving up a big early lead. They have taken charge of this game.
A shooting foul gets a chance to be turned into a three-pointer.
Ahead of the defense as the opening tip.
The Jazz shooting their first free throw tonight. Both teams will make substitutions.
First team foul.
And since 1999, the Clippers and Lakers have shared their downtown LA arena. The only NBA team to split a venue, but that's going to change soon.
And that's a miss for Los Angeles.
Advancing to sixth round. Here's Hibachi. The leader falls for it. That was a difficult shot.
And Utah takes advantage of it again, so they trailed 24-7 before the timeout, and they find themselves still trailing, but at least it's a little closer now, 33-24. Oh, out of bounds, though, that time. So the Clippers will get the ball. That would have been a good shot, too, as it's time for some substitutions for both teams. Azabuk comes in for the other guy for Utah, and it looks like Utah's the only one that decides to do some substitutions there. Here's Powell, no good.
Clippers leading by 9. Here's Plumlee. Hits it from
And there's a three to go.
Rushing it right now. They've done an excellent job of spacing the floor. If you love analytics, this is
Here's Gay with it and drains it.
both teams racking up the points to start this game.
And you wonder how long they can keep it going. At some point,
And another three
defense will adjust.
with 23.4 seconds to go in the opening quarter.
Beat down right here. Possibly over.
That one doesn't fall down for Utah.
puts up a 3. And he got
Oh, and that misses as the first quarter comes to an end. So after one, the score is 39-27. Clippers on top. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the second quarter after these messages. You're watching NBA on Fox Tube TV. Welcome back for the start of the second quarter here. Clippers lead at 39-27 after being up 24-7. And it's obviously proven that both teams have came here to play basketball, but the Clippers looked more like it in that first quarter, and they're going to get the ball here to start the second quarter. So at halftime, we will go over scores from earlier, as well as talk about our show coming up on Twitch and here on Fox Tube TV tomorrow, before we talk about the upcoming games tomorrow. And tomorrow you will know who's playing, as that's Plumlee with a loose ball foul, but you'll know who's playing tomorrow, as the rest of the teams that did not play today will play tomorrow. So keep that in mind.
And here's Gay. He'll bring it up for Utah. Down by 12.
Here's Sexton down by 12, drains the three to make it a 9-point ball game. So teams usually average around 60 points before halftime. And no team has scored under 130 points total in the game today, so keep that in mind. In any of the games today, so keep that in mind. As here's Plumlee backing up, looking to redeem himself. No. 0 for 2 from three-point range. There's Marketing. No,
It's his first miss. He's 4 for 5.
he fails there at the line.
Kick out to Westbrook. From
Russell Westbrook pretty good at the line, though, and that is why.
Westbrook's got 6 in the quarter.
Be careful when Westbrook is knocking down those consistently. Watch out, because that means there's nothing you can't do.
Goes back up.
Can't get that one down, turns it into a two-pointer.
He is 1 for 4.
And they're up by what would be a touchdown if this was a football game.
No substitute for effort.
Got that one up quick.
Well, now a touchdown and field goal.
Guys, he's been a one-man air raid coming at them time and time again.
Yeah, the defense has allowed him to get into a rhythm from there.
And somehow stepped out of bounds. Not sure why, but here's some substitutions.
And Los Angeles making a change here as well. Zubac is checked in. Clippers leading by 10. Right side, Westbrook. Gets the...
Westbrook knocks another one down.
He's got 14.
There's only one Russell Westbrook, and when he's on, he puts on a show.
And Utah can't get that one to go.
On 4 of 7 from the field in the second quarter so far. A 3 from Morris. And another 3.
No team has trailed by more than 20 points at half.
Wide open.
And that was the Nuggets in the Lakers game.
Utah's gotten half their shots from three-point range to go down to the second quarter. 3 of 6 from downtown. And while we've got a moment, let's send it over to our terrific reporter, David Aldridge. David?
Thanks, Kevin. We've heard about player tracking before. But now
As there's another 3 and the Jazz call a timeout. So with 3:16 to go until the half,
makes or misses.
57-38, Clippers on top. Back in a few. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the NBA on Fox 2
Provide
TV.
Instant feedback to shooters and help them find the bottom of the net. Kevin, back to you.
Sign me up. That is a fascinating story. David, thank you. Eric Gordon is checked in for Terrence Mann.
Welcome back to Vivint Smart Home Arena. Coming off a timeout here, the Jazz get the ball
Jazz
with 3:15 to go until the half.
Clarkson for 3. Score the next
And that's good. The Clippers are on a 15-5 run for the last 1 minute and 34 seconds.
Something you notice about this Jazz team. They love to shoot the 3.
And there's another 3, and they have reached that range
Kevin, not only
of what teams that have either won or lost have averaged at halftime. But again, we mentioned that no team has trailed by more than 20 points
Matches threes.
Nobody near George.
going into halftime.
Clippers.
So the Jazz are trying to obviously make sure that doesn't happen. They don't want to. You don't want to be trailing 74-44 at halftime. But also, the Clippers are trying to make that happen.
There's Paul George.
Because there's a first time for everything.
George has got 9 points now in the quarter.
another good play. This is how they built the lead.
Going for it. He got it to fall. And it's a 16-point game.
Led up this entire night, and at this point, I wouldn't expect them to.
Zubac misses. So far, only the Trailblazers have been able to come from behind and lead at halftime when they led the Warriors 65-64 at halftime. And they might get a chance to come back and lead the Clippers at halftime.
And no good. As the Clippers taking it the other way. Outside Westbrook. Fires from deep. No good. That's just his first miss.
The Clippers haven't been doing anything. 66-55.
Everyone knows about marketing from range. Also has the tools to challenge inside.
And they recover it. Gordon dishes to George. A three ball. Nailed from
And Paul George finally gets another one
George has got 23 points.
to fall down
Taking a hold of this first half.
for the Clippers. Deep three, no.
Los Angeles leading
Good.
14. Gordon for three.
Gordon, yes.
With the assist. Westbrook's got his fourth assist with that last one here tonight. And he buried that one, tripping the rim.
There's the patience you want to see.
And we will be taking an extra long halftime at halftime in this game, just so you know.
To Westbrook.
Not that you really needed to know that, but
The rebound by the Jazz.
it won't be too long, but it will be an extra long halftime than
Outside.
the ones we had earlier.
Goes for three. Drills the three-pointer. 24 points for him.
12-point ball game, though.
But he is answering the bell.
The reason why is not just
Zubac
it's the way he's doing it.
still can't get one to fall.
At this point in the game.
Sexton for three. And again, it's the Jazz from deep.
Capable of coaching in so many ways. You have to guard Sexton close. But this is what will happen.
And a tip and steal makes it go to halftime at 72-63.
Total of 4 3-pointers in the period. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside.
And we'll send it to David Aldridge as we head to halftime.
Kawhi, you seem to be so at ease out there. How much is that helping your game?
It's helping me out a lot. Just coming in the game relaxed, just with more intensity. I mean, my teammates are getting me involved on the offensive end. I'm playing great on defense. We just got to keep it up second half and not let it up.
Hey, Kawhi, thank you very much for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Well, thank you, David, and we're going to send it back to the studios for the halftime report. We'll see you for the start of the third quarter. You're watching the NBA on FoxTube TV.
And for those of you just tuning in,
Well, here we are with the Urban Woodworking halftime report about the games around the league. Well, we get started with game one of what was supposed to be yesterday's quadruple header. The Warriors head to Portland to take on the Trailblazers, and despite trailing 65-64 at halftime, they escape with a 156-130 victory on the road, and they'll take a 1-0 lead back home with them for a matchup on Thursday against a team to be determined. Meanwhile, the Trailblazers fall to 0-1. And game three of what was supposed to be yesterday's quadruple header. The Lakers head into Denver to take on the Nuggets, hopefully getting revenge for real life when they lost in the conference finals. And they do. They escape with a 165-146 victory and make their names known. They'll head home next week with a 1-0 record, while the Nuggets will stay at home with an 0-1 record. And game four of yesterday's quadruple header, the Heat head to Orlando to take on the Magic, and they escape with a 181-177 victory due to multiple mistakes by the Magic. They kept fouling in the last minute, and while that's not a bad idea to stop the clock, you're giving them more points, and they trailed that game. That game was 179 to 177. They had a chance to get a three-pointer and take the lead and try to win it. Instead, they miss, and then they foul, giving the Heat another three-pointer, another two-pointer, which allows them to escape with a 181-177 victory. Heat will return home next week with a 1-0 record, and the Magic will go on the road with an 0-1 record next week. And at halftime in our game, it's the Jazz trailing at halftime, 63-72. We'll have to see if they can overcome the deficit and be the first home team to win here in game one. But without further ado, let's get it back to the studios. Welcome back to Vivint Smart Home Arena for the start of the third quarter. The visiting Clippers have a 72-63 lead over the Jazz, and they are looking to make road teams 5-0. And there's 2 quarters left to figure that out. Here's Westbrook bringing it out. And they had a big game before halftime. And there's yet another three-pointer. Here's Kessler. Well, that's another three, and just like the other games, there's been no shortage of threes in this game. And Zubac finally hits his first three. It's been honestly a fun broadcast here. The Jazz were trailing 24-7. It was questionable whether or not they'd be able to overcome that in the first quarter, but they have. Now here's Paul George with a three. On a lock, drives to the basket and misses. Back to Paul George. George with another three. And he went out of bounds, so the Clippers will take the ball right back, and that gives us enough time for some substitutions. Plumlee comes in for Zubac. And that's a good three. 15-5 run in the last 79 seconds for the Clippers. And that's now an 18-5 run in the last few minutes here. And with a 90-68 lead, the Jazz call a timeout. So with 4:17 to go in the third, we'll step aside. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the NBA on Fox Student TV. Welcome back to Vivint Smart Home Arena. The visiting Clippers are up 90-68. And we're coming off of a timeout here with 4:17 to play in the third quarter of play. And the Jazz are going to get the ball here. Here's Sexton bringing it up. Sexton goes for the three and gets it. And the Clippers know they got to be careful because at any point they can blow this lead. Tatum with a three. It's going to be hard to blow the lead when you're hitting threes like that. Oh, look at Kawhi Leonard with a steal.
You know, the coach has had something to say about that. No question.
And he's going to bring it up and shoot a three of his own that he's going to miss. Wide open Clarkson. He's going to dunk it. It is a 20-point Clippers lead. Here's Plumlee stepping back, going for the three. No. Clarkson got the dunk last time and gets nothing that time. There's Kawhi Leonard, and yes, he hits the three that time.
You can see the work Kawhi has put into his ball handling. He gets separation almost any time he wants.
Deep three there, no good. Oh, that's out of bounds. Gives time for some substitutions. And after these, the Jazz will get the ball as that was out of bounds on the Clippers. Horton Tucker, yes, hits the three. It's a 20-point Clippers lead. Got to keep it in bounds this time. Kawhi does. And makes it a 23-point lead. The highest of teams ever led was 26 tonight. And the Clippers can't even get there because each time they hit a shot, seems like the Jazz have something to answer with it. And that was a nice shot there.
Of course, the analytical team shot way more three-pointers, and they found a temporary edge, but...
And that was a miss. This gives the Clippers an opportunity to make it a 26-point game, which was the most any team's led by, and they get it.
Very efficient. Guys?
Deep three, no good. 29-point lead, yes!
The three-point numbers for Kawhi Leonard.
This can be the first time any team's led by 30 or more points. This would make it a 32-point lead, yes!
Powell's got 9 points now in just the second half.
It's impressive.
And 20's not good at threes. He's just going to try to drive it, and he's going to miss.
Especially considering it's on the road.
Stepping back for a 35-point lead. Yes, got it.
The distractions.
offensively, defensively, they are in total control.
This has been an impressive performance tonight.
And man, number 20 for Utah can't get anything to go.
Now here's Leonard. He's got 18.
And that was a chance for a 38-point lead
4 seconds left in the third.
there that just went out the window.
Toscano Anderson for 3.
And another missed 3 by Utah.
Here's Highland.
Highland makes it
Highland's got himself on the board with 3.
a 38-point game.
Got a clean look, and he makes the defense pay for disrespect.
And finally, a 3 drops for Utah, making it a 35-point game again.
His three-point shot is getting better and better.
Now here's Plumlee. He has 6.
Oh, Plumlee
Back the three-pointer off
knocks it down. They might be able to cut into this lead some.
by 4. That's good for Gay.
And it's back to a 32-point lead.
Beyond the arc in the third for Utah. Here's Highland. And right away,
Back to a 35-point lead.
Highland's got 6 points in the quarter. For 3, Azubuike. Batum.
No good.
Batum's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Highland passes to Leonard. And out of bounds. It's
And he stepped out of bounds, so the Jazz will get the ball with 3.8 seconds.
Here's Horton Tucker.
And he got it off at the buzzer, so it'll be a 32-point lead for the Clippers heading into the 4th and final quarter. Don't go anywhere. Clippers up 120 to 88 here at the end of the 3rd. We'll be back with the 4th and final quarter after this. You're watching the NBA on Fox Tube TV.
Amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. We've got more in store for you right after this. And let's take this opportunity.
Welcome back for the 4th and final quarter of play here on Fox Tube TV. You're watching the NBA, and it's the Clippers with a 120 to 88 lead
Going to keep the defense on its heels.
here in the 4th and final quarter of play. Unless the Jazz can cut into this lead fast
To become competitive.
and potentially tie this game up. And it is now a 29-point lead. It just went back to a 32, though.
Both teams running perimeter-oriented plays that are working.
How often do we see this these days?
Stops back,
Clubs answer each other.
and he misses.
And close to making the defense pay for the lax coverage that time.
Here's Man. He misses,
Utah's gone 1 2 from three-point range here in the 4th.
and that is tipped and taken away by the Clippers.
Here's Coffee.
Here's Coffee.
Utah with the rebound.
No good by Coffee. That's an interesting last name. He got it off, and it just comes right back out of the basket.
1 of 3 from the field to start the 4th quarter. And here's
Covington, yes, 35-point lead now.
And we don't see Covington shoot from the corner a lot, but he looks confident bombing it from there.
for 3. Azubuike.
And he got it that time. Finally hits a 3,
Himself going there. His first
but it's at a 32-point lead now.
Gordon outside. And another 3 for the
Back to a 35-point lead.
So many of Gordon's shots come from three-point range because he drains so many of them.
He hit 1 3.
Success from beyond
Can't hit another one, though. At least yet.
the green light.
Now here's Gordon.
Gordon's had a lot of points tonight.
A three-pointer is
And makes it a 38-point lead again.
Cold-blooded, drops the dagger, piles on to what was already a big lead.
I mean, defensively, if you have any hope of coming back in this game, you can't afford to give him those looks.
and another 3 for the Clippers.
And it's now a 41-point lead, the most any team has led by.
Fourth quarter. Interesting approach coming
Back
out.
to a 38, though.
Looking to rack up points in chunks. To stretch out the defense, you just need enough guys on the floor who can make
Now
that shot.
back to 41.
On that one. Covington's got 9 points here in the second half. Jones, no one around him. And again, it's the
Back to 38. It's gonna bounce around. I have a feeling.
Seems to be going down.
And here's Morris for 3.
And now back to 41.
Wow, I'll tell you, Morris is on one tonight, bumping his points in left and right.
And Sabuki, no good.
And maybe, he thinks he can shoot himself out of the cold spell, but I don't think that's the case. Somebody
44 now.
And that's just
And this is the biggest deficit we've seen tonight. The second biggest, 26 points. This one is by 41 points, though.
This is where it can get a little personal.
Sometimes it's a matter of pride.
Back to 44, though.
Of his own.
And the one thing about Moore, he doesn't scare you from beyond the arc, but you still have to account for
No good again.
anything easy for him in this period.
And you've seen they've made numerous attempts to try to get
47 points.
how valuable he is to this offense. Man, he's been on point. Not
Going for the deep three. No.
within the flow.
And so it's Covington who brings up the ball for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Make it a 50-point deficit. No, it's not going to be a 50-point deficit yet.
Jazz have gone 5 of 12 from the field. They're ready to go.
And he turns around and steps out of bounds, so the Clippers will get the ball, and that gives enough time for substitutions. Looks like the first 3 and the last one have all been substituted.
The Clippers shooting at
Here's Highland now.
69% of this game.
Steps back. Highland makes it a 50-point lead.
Got 9 points here in the second half.
There was a hole in the defense, and the offense did a brilliant job to get an easy bucket out of it.
And another miss
And that's one way to end up in the highlights.
for the Jazz.
A dunk play all the way
And it's
around
now
his
a
head.
56-point or 53-point deficit.
Powell on the double team.
That's going to be a jump ball. That will be the second jump ball of the season in the middle of the game. And looks like another jump ball will take place. Haven't had this yet this season, but it gets tipped back to the Clippers, who are going to try to take a 56-point lead, and they do.
And it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for Los Angeles.
Oh, that's out of bounds. That is clear as day. And the Jazz will get the ball. That gives enough time for substitutions.
Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And we watched one guy all night long, guys. And look at the stats. Just confirms what a dominant game he had.
They get a 3 to go.
Tonight it was for Paul George.
Now will they make it another 56-point deficit?
We got a chance to win.
Powell.
He responded to good
Oh, he misses.
with better
They might be able to make it back to a 53-point deficit. In the corner.
This from long range.
No. And the Clippers have a chance to make it 56 again.
Gets the 3.
They will now lead by 56 yet again.
Blocked out the noise, kept on grinding, and this is their
He has to shoot it. He's under coverage, though.
It's going to be a
And again, no good.
total team effort. Big win on the road.
And here is Los Angeles now. Following
59 points. They now lead by.
inspired tonight. They fought hard at crucial points.
Going for deep again.
Especially during this last
And you could see why the Jazz are going for all these threes,
Gordon. Following
as they are now about to trail by 62 points.
Can't let Gordon get cooking from the field. Once he hits a few, he is in the zone.
And again, that's the most points any team has trailed by. The second most, as it's back to 59. The second most is 26.
sometimes it's It's a matter of
Back to 62 points, yes.
three of his own.
Both
Still
teams
plenty of time.
perimeter-oriented plays that are working.
How often do we see this?
Back to 59.
Clubs answer each other from range. Huge collapse on defense. No reason to
Back
allow
to
it.
62, yes.
Just a humongous fourth quarter for him, especially from long range. Just in a groove now, and that trade
Gets it up.
has been deadly. All you gotta do is look
And that's going to be a 62-point loss for the Jazz. 174 to 112.
Check mark. They set the tone for this game early on.
So the Clippers winning this
And
one
not a
easily.
single timeout was called
Stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
in that fourth quarter.
I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect
It's like they just accepted the loss at that point. But 174 to 112
And we've got David Aldridge
is the end to that. And here in a few minutes will be the Hornets and Pelicans.
BG, congratulations.
So we'll see you at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for that. Until then, so long, everybody.
We still
After this.
allowed too many points. We got to get better on defense. That was the emphasis coming into today. Defense. It's an area we got to improve. But tonight, our offense got us over the hump.
Any way you get the dub is the good way, so congrats on the win. Back to you.
All right, David.
Okay, so again, we say so long. 174-112. The final, as your New Balance player of the game, Paul George, with 29 points.
Thanks for watching the NBA.
That's one game down, 39 to go for these two teams.
Player of the game.
And again, at 10 p.m., you'll see the Hornets and Pelicans right here on Fox Tube TV. Thank you for watching this presentation of the NBA. And we'll say so long from the Fox Tube TV studios.